Hey, what's going on, Collider Games fans? I'm Caboose, and today what we're going to be talking about here is Spider-Man PS4 DLC, and we're going to be speculating about the Turf Wars expansion that's going to be dropping at some point in November. Now, if you haven't completed the Black Cat DLC known as the Heist, there are going to be some spoilers ahead, so keep in mind on that. We're going to be talking about some of the stuff going on in Turf Wars that directly involves the ending to the Heist, so you have been warned. With that said, let's jump in and talk about this. So, at the end of the heist, we do see that Felicia Hardy is heading to her penthouse, and there is a massive explosion, presumably killing her in the process, which was all corroborated by Hammerhead, who has been the underlying villain of this DLC. So now knowing that Hammerhead is pretty much going to be the lead villain within Turf Wars, we can get a little bit of an idea on what's going to be going down when we hear the term Turf Wars as the name for the second expansion. So we know in the Heist that the Maggia was introduced, and in Marvel Comics, the Maggia is essentially a blanket term or their own term for the mob. So the entire crime syndicate is known as the Maggia. Now within the Maggia, there are separate families, some of them that are going against each other, some that work together, and then of course within that, we have families like the Hammerhead family, the Maggia family, which we go up against within the Heist DLC for Spider-Man PS4, and plenty more. So I'm assuming when we hear that the name for the second expansion is Turf Wars, that some of these families are going to be going head to head, and Spider-Man has to intervene to stop them and hopefully bring an end to this crime syndicate. And it just excites me to know that Hammerhead is going to be involved with Turf Wars, because it probably means we're going to get a cool boss battle this time around. I think that was the one thing that was missing out of the Heist, is that there wasn't a good boss battle there, or no boss battle at all, really. And granted, you can't really make that happen because of the fact that Black Cat was the main, I guess, quote-unquote, antagonist of the story. So we did have that cool chase scene to supplement, which I thought was a lot of fun, but I was missing, you know, the fun of just fighting off against a villain, and I feel like we're going to get that in Turf Wars, and it's probably going to be something similar to that of the Kingpin fight that we got at the beginning of the main game for Spider-Man PS4. Now, speaking of Kingpin, I'd say that you can expect there's a good chance he'll be involved in Turf Wars in some way. Remember, at the start of Spider-Man PS4, he is the one that leads organized crime in New York City. So when he gets locked away, that's when all hell breaks loose. That's when people, members of the Maggia, are able to rise up a little more. So I'm expecting that he will show up in some way, shape, or form, especially considering there was that massive breakout at the raft that happens during the main game. Granted, Doc Ock decided and chose specifically who he wanted released to form that Sinister Six, but it was a prison riot. All hell broke loose. So honestly, don't be too surprised if Kingpin was one of those people that got out of there and he wants to take that mantle back of the leader of organized crime that he once had at the beginning of Spider-Man PS4. And then, of course, there's the question of Black Cat and what happened to her at the end of that DLC. Did she really die? Did she willingly go to her penthouse after Peter warned her that it was rigged to blow? No, she did not. And I have proof of this. If you pay really, really close attention to the cutscene that happens in which she's arriving at her penthouse, first of all, you kind of get this reassuring look on her face, almost as if she knows exactly what she's doing. And then second of all, if we slow down the footage and go frame by frame, just 1 millisecond before the explosion of the penthouse itself, a smoke grenade is placed down and she's gone. She is not there when the penthouse blows up. She didn't die. I am telling you, I am almost 99.9% sure that she did not die, and she'll show up in some way, shape, or form, whether in Turf Wars or Silver Lining, to announce that she's still alive, and maybe to be there to take down Hammerhead once and for all. And then we have Silver Lining in December. And now, granted, I want to get more into speculation with that when we actually get our hands on Turf Wars at some point in November, when we can see the story unfold there. I do want to get into a little bit of speculating here, simply off what we saw happen in the Heist. Now, when we heard that the third expansion was named Silver Lining, I think the thing that popped up in everyone's head was the character Silver Sable. And it has only to do with the fact that the name has silver in it. But A nice little connection here that you could tie into Silver Lining is the fact that the Maggia are using Sable International equipment and have stolen this equipment, and we see that towards the end of this first DLC. So if Silver Sable is involved in that third expansion, like people are speculating, then that could be the reason why she's come back to New York City to get her stuff back and to make sure that this Maggia doesn't steal any of her equipment ever again. So she could be the last remaining factor in helping take them down once and for all, and could be the one that closes that nice through line between the Heist, Turf Wars, and Silver Lining. But again, we'll get into more overall speculation when we can actually see what happens in Turf Wars, as I'm sure there will be some sort of connection revealed with what's going to happen and take place in Silver Lining. But that's it. That's my speculation and overall theories on what's going to be happening in our next two expansions for Spider-Man PS4. And now we kick it to you guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think is going to be happening in Turf Wars and in Silver Lining? I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And of course, if you did enjoy, a positive rating is appreciated. And you can subscribe to Collider Games to get your fix on all things gaming. I've been Caboose, and I'll see you guys later.